You lie back and breathe, slowly, gently. The world feels heavy, but not in a burdensome way. It is the heaviness of belonging, the weight of being held. You are held right now, in this very moment, by gravity. It is not a force you see. It does not flash or roar. It whispers, steady and invisible, yet always present. Gravity presses you to the bed beneath you, tucks you into the earth's surface, and assures you that you will not drift away. It is the same hand that keeps oceans from spilling into space, the same pull that gives rivers their downhill journey, the same silent tug that keeps the moon circling, night after night. You feel this force not only with your body but with your whole being. It is the soft reminder that you are part of a web that stretches across the cosmos. As you breathe again, you notice how your chest rises and falls. That rhythm, too, feels like gravity, steady, anchoring, never hurried. Gravity is not loud, not insistent. It is patient, it is gentle. Without it, there would be no calm night sky, no steady earth, no ground to rest upon. Imagine for a moment that you are floating free, untethered in space. At first, there may be excitement, weightlessness, the dream of flying. But soon, without gravity's pull, you would feel adrift, unanchored. Gravity gives direction. It offers down and up, roots and sky. Without it, even your sense of place dissolves. So you return gratefully to this quiet presence, this silent partner, holding you where you are meant to be. Close your eyes and picture the earth, a round, blue world spinning slowly in the dark. Around it, an invisible net extends outward. That net is gravity. Every atom, every mountain, every drop of water contributes to this great pull. The earth's body calls to yours, and your body, in its own tiny way, calls back. This exchange is mutual. You are not only pulled by earth. You, too, pull earth toward yourself, however faintly. Everything pulls on everything else. A cosmic dance, woven together by attraction. The ancient thinkers looked at falling apples, swinging moons, drifting planets. They wondered what bound these movements together. Later, Isaac Newton gave us a law that every object with mass attracts every other. A simple truth, yet one that explains why stars cluster, why planets orbit, why galaxies spiral. Even now, lying here, you are a participant in this universal embrace. But Newton's picture, though powerful, was not the whole story. Centuries later, Albert Einstein arrived with another way of seeing. He described space not as empty, but as a fabric, a soft, invisible cloth stretched wide. Mass and energy bend this fabric, creating valleys and slopes. Objects move along those slopes. Gravity is not so much a force pulling from afar, but the natural way bodies follow the curves in space-time. You can picture it as a sheet of silk stretched out in the dark. Place a ball on the silk, and the cloth dips around it. Roll a smaller ball nearby, and it circles toward the dip, following the curve. Earth makes its dip. The moon dances within it. The sun makes a far larger dip, and Earth circles along its curve. You, too, rest in a small dip, pressed into Earth's silk by your own weight. This fabric of space-time is smooth, yet pliant. Every star, every planet, every body contributes its shape. And here you are, lying in your own gentle hollow, your mass stretching the fabric slightly. You may not see it, but it is there, the soft indentation of your existence. Pause and breathe again. Gravity does not hurry. It teaches patience. The moon will not fly away tonight. The earth will not drift from the sun. The universe holds steady, a slow dance of curves and pulls. Think now of the tides. Twice each day, the oceans breathe in and out. Water rises along coastlines, then retreats again. This rhythm is gravity's song, composed between earth and moon. The moon, small compared to earth, still pulls upon the oceans, drawing them toward her face. As earth spins, the tides follow, a daily reminder that gravity is not static but alive, moving, guiding, stirring. You, too, carry tides inside. Blood flows, breath sways, your inner oceans responding to rhythms beyond sight. Gravity links not only you to Earth, but Earth to Sun, Sun to galaxy, galaxy to greater webs. It is the universal thread, stitching matter into pattern, binding chaos into form. Without it, there would be only drifting dust, scattered light. With it, stars ignite, planets form, life takes root. Gravity is the architect of structure, the mother of galaxies, the keeper of harmony. And yet gravity is humble. It is weaker than magnetism, weaker than the forces that hold atoms together. You cannot break a magnet's grip with your hand, yet you can lift an object against Earth's entire pull with a simple motion. Still, though weak, gravity is patient. It works across distances unthinkable. It does not fade quickly, does not tire. It stretches from star to star, from galaxy to galaxy, across the entire universe. Imagine yourself now as a grain of dust, floating in a beam of sunlight. You drift, weightless, until Earth's hand reaches, and gently you fall. That fall is not punishment. It is welcome. Gravity is Earth calling you home. You are never lost, never abandoned. Always you are being gathered. As you let these thoughts settle, your body relaxes. Shoulders soften. Breath deepens. You feel cradled, not only by your bed, not only by the earth beneath, but by the very principle that ties the cosmos together. You are small, yes, but you are also woven into something vast, and here lies a wonder. If gravity can be so gentle, why then can it also become so fierce? If it can cradle oceans, why can it also crush stars? This question is the seed of mystery, the doorway into darker realms. Tonight you rest in gravity's tender embrace, but out there, in the silence between stars, gravity takes on another face. It grows strong, unrelenting, pulling so tightly that even light cannot leave. Stars, too heavy for their own strength, surrender and fold inward, making places where time stops and space caves in. These places are called black holes, and as you drift toward sleep, you feel gravity not only as comfort but as curiosity, inviting you onward. The force that holds you here is the same force that shapes the most secret wells in the universe. You are ready to follow it deeper. You begin this chapter still resting, still quiet, your breath flowing slowly like the tides of an unseen ocean. Above you, the night sky stretches wide, sprinkled with stars. Each one seems eternal, constant, a gentle pinprick of light against the darkness. But like all things, stars are not forever. They are born, they live, and in time, they grow old. Tonight, you walk slowly with them, imagining their journeys across billions of years. Picture a cloud in space, not a cloud of water vapor, like those above your earthly sky, but a cloud of dust and gas, vast and dark, stretching across like. These are nurseries of stars, places where hydrogen, the simplest element, gathers. Slowly, gravity begins its patient work. It draws the particles closer and closer. At first, the cloud is quiet, formless. Then small clumps form, growing heavier with each breath of time. In the heart of such a cloud, pressure builds. Gas compresses. Particles collide. And then, at last, something extraordinary happens. A spark ignites. A new star is born, its light piercing through the shadows of its cradle. This is how every star begins, from the smallest faint red embers to the brightest giants. You imagine drifting inside one of these nurseries, surrounded by dim fog. Slowly, you see points of fire appearing all around, stars igniting one by one like lanterns in a mist. The universe grows brighter as the newborns cry out in light. Some flicker faintly, others blaze with fierce brilliance. And among them are the giants, stars so massive that their own weight begins to write their destiny. The life of a star is a balance. Inside, deep at the core, the star fuses hydrogen into helium. This process releases immense energy that pushes outward with force. Gravity, patient and steady, pulls inward. These two powers, push and pull, balance each other like partners in a slow cosmic dance. As long as the fuel burns, the star shines steadily, neither collapsing nor exploding. You, lying here, are warmed by the light of one such star, your sun holding its perfect balance for billions of years. But the giants live differently. Where your sun will last for 10 billion years, massive stars race through their lives in only a few million. They burn hotter, faster, more furiously. Their brilliance is dazzling, but it is costly. They spend their fuel quickly, like candles flaring with great beauty only to shorten their flame. Imagine standing near such a star. Its light would be overwhelming, its heat beyond comprehension. Yet inside, the same struggle continues. Pressure outward, gravity inward. As hydrogen depletes, the core shifts. Helium begins to fuse into heavier elements carbon, oxygen, silicon, and finally iron. Layer upon layer forms inside the star, like the rings of a great cosmic tree. Iron, however, brings the story to a turning point. Unlike lighter elements, fusing iron does not release energy. It absorbs it. The balance falters. Gravity, which has been waiting patiently all this time, seizes the moment. With nothing left to push back, the star begins to collapse. You feel the weight of that collapse as you breathe. Imagine the entire mass of a star many times larger than your sun, folding inward in seconds. The core shrinks, temperatures soar, and then suddenly there is a release. For some stars, this ending arrives as a supernova, a titanic explosion, brighter than galaxies, scattering elements into space. Gold, calcium, oxygen atoms that make up your very body are forged in that violent farewell. But for the heaviest stars, even a supernova is not the end. Their cores collapse further still. The inward fall does not stop. Gravity grows so intense that the star shrinks into something smaller than comprehension. Its light disappears. Its surface vanishes. What remains is not a shining star, but a hole in space, a place where gravity reigns supreme. This is the beginning of a black hole. Pause here. Let the thought linger. A star, once brilliant, once radiant across the night, has folded into darkness. You look at the sky now and realize that many points of light are survivors, still shining. But others may already be gone, their light still traveling across years, while their bodies have collapsed into silence. When you gaze at the stars, you gaze at time itself, some lights alive, some already extinguished. Your body, too, carries their story. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen in your breath were born in the hearts of dying stars. You are, in a very real sense, made of stardust. Stars that grew too heavy gave their endings so that you might have beginnings. Their deaths scattered the ingredients of life across the galaxy, and so, when you think of stars collapsing, it is not only tragedy, it is transformation. From their endings come new planets, new oceans, new forests, and eventually new hearts that beat softly in the night. Collapse becomes creation, silence becomes song. Let yourself drift deeper into this idea. Imagine a star swelling at the end of its life, growing into a red supergiant. It expands outward, its light softer but vast, filling the skies of any nearby worlds. For those who might have gazed up at it, the sky would be dominated by its great fiery presence. And then, in time, it shrinks, falters, collapses. The grandeur fades, but in that fading, something even stranger and more mysterious is born. Black holes are not simply objects. They are regions where gravity has won completely. No matter, no light, no signal escapes. To approach one is to approach an edge of understanding itself. Yet, here in Chapter 2, you linger only at the moment before, the collapse of the star, the surrender to gravity's pull. You stand at the threshold of mystery, where light still flickers but begins to fade. Let the silence stretch. You imagine the star's core tightening, atoms squeezed beyond recognition. You imagine space bending, folding inward as though it, too, is drawn into the collapse. The star that once stood defiant against darkness now gives in completely, leaving behind an invisible scar in the fabric of the cosmos. You breathe again, slow, calm. The story of stars is long, but it is patient enough for you to hold tonight. From birth in nebulae, to life in light, to death in collapse, each step is a meditation on change. The stars remind you that nothing is wasted, that endings are beginnings, and that even the heaviest burdens lead to transformation. Above you, the night sky still shines. Billions of stars keep their balance, still burning, still radiant. Yet somewhere out there, unseen, others are collapsing this very moment, surrendering their brilliance to gravity's deep well. You are part of this story, too woven into the same fabric, bound by the same law, carried by the same gentle pull. Rest in this truth. Stars grow, stars fade, and in their fading, they leave behind the seeds of galaxies, the atoms of breath, the dust of dreams. In your stillness, you carry their memory. You too are heavy with starlight, heavy with stories, heavy with the same quiet grace that guides the universe. And so you drift, not downward but inward, into the weightless thought of stars surrendering, stars collapsing, stars becoming something beyond what the eye can see. You linger here, softly, in the hush that follows great brilliance, feeling the mystery settle around you like night. You are still, calm, floating in thought. Before you lies a horizon, not of ocean or land, but of gravity itself. The black hole waits, silent and patient, its presence unseen, its pull irresistible. What you face now is not its core, not its deepest secret, but its boundary. The event horizon, it is a line without substance, a frontier without a wall. You cannot touch it or mark it. yet it divides the universe cleanly. On one side, light and matter may still escape, carried away into space. On the other, all paths bend inward, all journeys end at the unseen center. The event horizon is a point of no return. Imagine you are drifting closer. Around you, stars shine faintly, their light stretching into long arcs as the black hole's gravity bends them. Even the fabric of space itself begins to curve. The closer you approach, the slower time seems to move. From far away, an observer would see you crawl, your movements stretching into stillness. To them, you might never quite cross. But for you, here at the edge, time flows normally. A second is still a second. A breath is still a breath. The paradox is only in perspective. Close your eyes. Feel time itself as fabric, stretching, warping, yielding to gravity. At the event horizon, the stretching becomes infinite. Space and time lose their separation. The river of moments flows differently here, bending inward, drawn with you. You pause at this frontier, feeling both hesitation and awe. Crossing means leaving behind the visible universe. Once you pass, no light, no signal, no message can carry your story outward. You are hidden, wrapped in secrecy, veiled by silence. The event horizon is not only a boundary of physics, but of knowledge. Beyond it, certainty dissolves. Let yourself imagine the light that struggles here. Photons, the tiny carriers of brightness, race outward but find their paths bent back. Some skim along the edge, trapped in orbits, circling the horizon like fireflies around a flame. They linger for moments unending, neither escaping nor falling, caught in a delicate balance. To witness them would be to see a ring of light around the dark, the glow of matter resisting for its last breath. This glow is real. Around black holes, gas and dust spiral inward, forming accretion disks. The matter whirls at incredible speed, heated by friction, glowing in X-rays and visible light. It is as though the darkness is crowned by fire. Yet once particles cross the horizon, their glow is gone, their story silenced. The crown remains, but the heart is hidden. You drift closer. The edge feels both infinite and thin, like the surface of a bubble. Crossing requires no motion other than falling, no ceremony other than surrender. One moment you are outside, the next you are within. And though physics describes this boundary clearly, the imagination cannot help but see poetry in its silence. The event horizon is a veil, a curtain between what can be known and what must remain mystery. Breathe again, slowly. Imagine that curtain as soft, inviting. Passing through, you feel no sudden jolt, no sharp barrier. The laws of physics continue, but they curve toward new paths. You are falling now, endlessly inward. The black hole does not push. It only pulls. Its pull is steady, absolute. For a moment, consider the traveler who does not cross. Far away, someone watches. To them, you appear to hover at the horizon, moving ever more slowly, your light stretched to red, fading, never quite vanishing. From their view, you are frozen at the edge. Yet for you, the fall continues, unbroken. Both truths exist, perspectives of the same reality. This is relativity in motion, time and space shaped by gravity itself. Let this thought settle. The event horizon is not merely a boundary in space. It is a boundary in understanding where perception itself fractures. What one sees as endless waiting, another feels as swift descent. Truth bends here, just as light bends. The universe is not absolute. It is pliant, like silk, like water, like breath. You breathe in again, calmly. Inside, your body is steady, though stretched by thought. In reality, an object falling toward a black hole would feel the strange tug of tidal forces, gravity, pulling more strongly on the feet than the head, or on one side more than the other. Near smaller black holes, this difference becomes violent, stretching objects thin like strands of spaghetti. Scientists call this spaghetti. Yet near a supermassive black hole, such as the ones that dwell in galaxy centers, the crossing would be gentler. The difference in pull across your body would be small at first, the descent quiet, the stretching delayed until much deeper within. So here you float, entering calmly. You are a traveler of thought, of story, safe in imagination. The horizon receives you with silence. Think of it this way. The event horizon is like the edge of a great waterfall. Upstream, the river flows, boats drift, fish swim. At the edge, there is no wall, only a change in destiny. Cross the lip, and all paths lead downward. No strength of oar or engine can turn you back. Yet at the moment of crossing, the water feels no sudden change. It simply flows, continuing on its way. So too do you, as you drift across the horizon, unaware of any border, only aware of the unending inward fall. This thought soothes you. There is no sharp boundary in your experience, only continuity. What was before blends into what is now. Outside observers may argue, may describe your fading light, your stretched signals, but you know only the steady flow of time, unbroken, carrying you inward. The event horizon is, in some sense, an illusion, not false, but relative. It is real as a boundary of information nothing escapes. Yet it is invisible to the one who passes. You do not know the precise moment. You cannot point and say, "Here, now, I crossed." You only fall, and the universe falls with you. Now you are inside, though words fail to describe it. Space curves more steeply, time flows more strangely. The horizon lies behind you, hidden forever. Ahead lies only inward, always inward. Yet you feel no fear. Instead, you feel held, cradled by gravity, carried by inevitability. The event horizon has closed like a gentle door behind you, leaving only silence. Pause, hear, breathe again. You are within the well of a star's collapse, within the cradle of gravity's victory. Outside, the universe continues, stars burning, galaxies turning, light stretching across billions of years. But here, all roads lead inward. The horizon has divided you from that universe, yet it has also joined you to a new one, the hidden world inside the black hole. Imagine this hidden world as a cave of thought, a chamber where the usual rules fade. Scientists can only guess what lies deeper, a singularity where densities grow infinite, or some new state of matter, some unknown physics waiting to be discovered. But you do not hurry. You drift slowly, savoring the wonder of the horizon itself. The event horizon is more than an edge. It is an invitation. It tells you that the universe is not entirely open, not entirely revealed. It keeps secrets. It holds mysteries close. And in that withholding, it offers you the gift of wonder. You need not know everything tonight. It is enough to rest at the edge of the unknown, feeling its presence, letting its silence soothe you. Breathe one last time, deeply. You have crossed the event horizon in thought, in dream, in story. You are inside the black hole's embrace, still drifting, still calm. The stars outside are distant memories now. The curtain has closed behind you, and you lie gently in the theatre of the hidden universe. And here you rest in the hush of the event horizon, where time bends, where light falters, where mystery begins. You are falling, though falling is not the right word. There is no ground rushing to meet you, no air to press against your skin, no sound to guide your senses. The fall is inward, endless, soft. Behind you, the event horizon is already sealed. Ahead, space narrows, curves, bends. You are moving toward the very heart of gravity's creation, the singular core. The word singularity is used by science, but here it is less a definition and more a whisper. A place where equations break down, where the usual language of matter and time no longer applies. At the core of a black hole lies silence, not the silence of a quiet room, but silence deeper, the silence of absence, of boundaries erased. Close your eyes and breathe. Imagine silence not as emptiness, but as fullness. A silence that is so complete it becomes heavy, pressing gently around you. Every star, every atom, every pulse of light that enters this place is carried toward the same destiny, to merge with the unseen point at the center. Think of what has been drawn in before you. Planets swallowed, dust devoured, light captured. Each one has been pulled closer and closer, never escaping, always converging. At the core, all their journeys end. Yet you do not see them here. They do not remain as separate things. They are folded, woven, pressed together until individuality disappears. In this silence, you drift slower, though your speed increases endlessly. Motion here is paradoxical. You fall faster, yet feel no rush. You are drawn inward, yet there is no measure of distance left to count. The very scale of space bends with you. The closer you move to the center, the more stretched the meaning of closer becomes. Breathe again, slowly. Physicists describe this place with caution. They say density becomes infinite, that matter is compressed without limit. Space itself is curved to a point beyond comprehension. Time ends, or at least time as you know it. But these words, density, curve, infinity, are signposts pointing into fog. They are hints at something human thought cannot fully touch. So instead of defining, imagine. Imagine the singularity not as a point, but as a silence. A silence where all things come to rest, not destroyed, but transformed beyond recognition. The silence is not hostile. It does not rage or roar. It simply holds. This thought calms you. You are being carried toward silence, not toward violence. The fall is not a tearing, but a merging. You are being gathered, drawn into the heart where separation dissolves. Pause and feel the rhythm of your breath. Inhale, exhale. You are still here, even in imagination, even in thought. The silence at the core waits, but it does not rush you. It has been waiting since the star collapsed. It can wait still longer. Consider the paradox of the singularity. To the outside world, your journey seems frozen. To you, it continues unbroken. To mathematics, the core is infinity. To imagination, it is peace. Science and poetry meet here, neither sufficient alone, both incomplete together. And in the space between them, you find rest. Now, widen the vision. Black holes are not rare. At the centers of galaxies, millions of times heavier than the sun, lie supermassive black holes. Their cores, too, are singularities, Around them, entire galaxies spin, drawn by their gravity yet never crossing their horizons. These silent cores hold stars in their embrace, entire spirals of light turning for billions of years. And at the center, always, the same silence, the same hidden heart. Imagine this on a smaller scale than on a larger one. A stellar black hole, a few times the sun's mass, pulling a star apart as it feeds. A giant black hole, millions of suns heavy, shaping a galaxy's destiny. In every case, the core is the same. Silent, unseen, absolute. You drift closer still. Your thoughts grow slower, like ripples fading on a pond. Words slip away. Shapes dissolve. There is only gravity, only the inward pull. You are carried as a leaf is carried on a current, gently, inevitably, without resistance at this depth. There are no stars to guide you, no horizon to mark your path. Only the knowledge that all paths bend to this one center. It is not frightening. It is certain. Uncertainty is calming. Let yourself imagine merging the atoms of your body, the stories of your mind, the light of your being folded into the singular silence. You are not erased. You are joined. You become part of the gravity, part of the core, part of the hidden heart that holds galaxies in orbit. In this way, the silence is not absence, but union. The singularity gathers all things into one. What you called separation was only temporary. What you called individuality was only a moment. At the core, all is one. Breathe once more. Slowly, the silence presses, but it does not crush. It holds. You feel yourself dissolving, not with pain, but with peace. The boundaries of self soften. The difference between you and the stars, between you and the dust, between you and the galaxies, fades. You are part of the same silence. The singularity is described as infinite density. Yet in poetry, it is infinite stillness, infinite hush. Imagine sitting beside a still lake at night. No wind, no ripple, only calm. Imagine that calm multiplied beyond measure until it becomes the very nature of existence. That is the silence at the core. You linger here, knowing that beyond lies mystery even greater. Science cannot yet say what happens at the core. Does matter truly compress without end? Do new universes sprout from within, birthing new realities? Or is the singularity a doorway, a hidden bridge across space and time? The silence holds its secrets, and so you rest, drifting deeper, drawn into the calmest center of all. You have crossed the horizon, and now you are carried to the core. Around you, nothing moves, yet all things are in motion. The silence is total, yet within it lies the memory of stars. The seeds of galaxies, the essence of creation itself. You breathe again. In this silence, you are safe. You are whole. You are gathered into the heart of gravity's mystery, where time fades, space bends, and only stillness remains. And there you rest softly in the silence at the core. You are resting still, calm in the journey inward, yet here you pause to notice something remarkable. The black hole does not simply swallow. Around its edge, light performs a delicate dance. You imagine yourself not yet merged with the silence at the core, but hovering where darkness and brilliance intertwine. In the emptiness of space, light usually travels straight. It streams across galaxies, unhindered, a river of photons unbending in the vastness. But here, near the black hole, straight lines no longer exist. Space itself is curved, and light must follow its curve. Like a river bending around unseen stones, photons twist into arcs, circles, spirals. The black hole becomes choreographer, and light becomes dancer. Breathe gently as you imagine this dance. A photon born from the glow of falling gas rushes outward. Its path bends. It swings wide, curves back, nearly escapes, then is caught again. Some photons trace complete circles, orbiting the black hole at a delicate distance, balanced for a fleeting moment before plunging inward or flying away. This orbit is called the photon sphere. It is fragile, unstable, yet beautiful, a place where light itself becomes a satellite of darkness. From far away, this dance creates an image. Around the black hole, light forms rings. Some of it is bent once, twice, even many times, circling before escaping to distant eyes. An observer watching from safety would see the silhouette of the black hole outlined by glowing arcs. The darkness is crowned with fire. This is what astronomers call the shadow of the black hole, first captured in images of the galaxy M87's center. You recall that picture, perhaps hazy, golden, a ring of light surrounding emptiness. To the human eye, it looked blurred, soft, but its meaning was sharp, proof that light does indeed dance around darkness. That black holes are not only theory, but presence. The photograph was not just science, but art, the universe painting its own portrait in arcs of light. You imagine being closer still. Around you, photons streak and bend, each carrying the memory of where it was born, from dust spiraling inward, from magnetic storms near the horizon, from the heated skin of matter on the edge of falling. Their paths are no longer straight lines, but ribbons, wrapping and weaving through curved space. Think of it like fireflies at night. On Earth, fireflies flicker, moving freely, weaving patterns in the dark. Around a black hole, photons are fireflies drawn into a great circular dance. Some escape into the sky. Some are caught forever. From far away, the pattern looks like a glowing crown. Up close, it is a storm of curved trajectories, beauty hidden within chaos. Breathe again. Let the thought slow. There is wonder here in the paradox. Darkness creates beauty. The very absence of escape makes possible the ring of fire. Without the black hole's pull, light would rush outward unnoticed. Because of the pull, it lingers, circles, bends. The void creates art. Imagine yourself watching this dance, not as a scientist, but as a traveler of dreams. You hover near the photon sphere, surrounded by ribbons of light curving in all directions. The arcs stretch and shimmer, glowing with heat, glowing with energy, glowing with the memory of stars consumed. It is not frightening. It is mesmerizing, like sitting by a fire, watching sparks drift upward into the night. Around you, the accretion disk glows brighter still. Matter spirals inward, compressing, heating to millions of degrees. The glow is fierce, almost unbearable, yet beautiful. It is light created in farewell, atoms colliding violently as they surrender to the pull. Their light escapes outward, bending, circling, adding to the crown around the black hole. From destruction comes radiance, from collapse comes flame. Pause again. In your breath, you feel the rhythm of that dance. Inhale and imagine light curving inward. Exhale and imagine it spiraling outward. Each breath a photon's journey, caught between escape and surrender. Now, widen your vision further. Imagine galaxies lit with such dances. At their centers, supermassive black holes gather matter. Around them, accretion disks blaze with light brighter than billions of suns. Quasars, astronomers call them cosmic beacons, so powerful they shine across the universe. At their heart lies a black hole, invisible. Yet around them, light performs endlessly, announcing the presence of the dark with the brilliance of fire. It is humbling. The brightest objects in the universe exist because of the darkest. Light and darkness are not enemies here, but partners. The dance is not a struggle, but a harmony. Without the dark, the light would not bend. Without the light, the dark would remain unseen. Together, they create beauty. You return your gaze to the photon sphere, to the delicate orbits of light. For a moment, a photon circles perfectly, caught in balance. Then, with the slightest shift, it escapes outward or falls inward. The dance is fleeting, impermanent, like a candle flame flickering. Yet in its impermanence lies its beauty. Let yourself imagine being a photon here. Born in fire, you race outward, your path bent by gravity. You skim the horizon, circle once, twice, perhaps more. To you, time is strange. Your journey is timeless, stretched. Then, in an instant, you are either released into the universe, carrying the story of the black hole outward, or swallowed, merging into silence. Both endings are complete. Both are graceful. You are resting still, calm, feeling the rhythm of the dance. The black hole no longer seems only to devour. It seems to choreograph, to arrange, to hold light in patterns of beauty. You understand now that the universe does not waste even its darkness. Even in the deepest gravity well, where escape is impossible, there is still wonder, still creation, still art. Breathe slowly once more. The dance of light continues, even without your watching. Photons circle, rings glow, shadows hold their shape. The black hole remains crowned, its silence framed by fire, and you remain, drifting quietly, cradled in thought, watching light move in arcs around darkness, watching the universe show you that even the void can shine. You float near the boundary of the black hole, where darkness waits and light bends, and here you notice something stranger than silence, subtler than gravity itself. Time begins to change. You carry a clock within you, not just on your wrist, not just in machines, but in your very being. Your heart is a clock, pulsing rhythm through your veins. Your breath is a clock, rising and falling in steady measure. Even your thoughts are clocks, moments passing in gentle sequence. For all your life, time has felt steady, reliable, constant. But here, at the edge of the black hole, the constancy falters. Time itself begins to stretch. Imagine holding a second in your hand as if it were a pebble, small and firm. Usually, seconds pass quickly, one after another, slipping like water through your fingers. But here, a single second lingers. It grows heavy, elongated, like honey dripping slowly from a spoon. A minute feels like an hour. An hour feels like a day. The river of moments is slowed by gravity's deep pull. This is not imagination, it is relativity. Einstein showed that time and space are not separate things, but woven together into one fabric. Gravity does not simply tug on objects. It curves space and slows the flow of time itself. The stronger the gravity, the slower the time. And nowhere is gravity stronger than here. You pause, breathing gently. To you, here at the edge, nothing feels different. Your heart still beats, your breath still moves, your thoughts still rise and fall in rhythm. But to someone watching from far away, your movements begin to slow. They see you drifting toward the horizon, but more and more sluggishly, as though you were sinking into molasses. They watch seconds stretch into eternity. To them, you never truly cross. This difference is not illusion. It is reality. Time flows differently depending on where you are. And so, you are learning, gently, that time is not absolute. Close your eyes and imagine yourself standing by a river. Near the middle, the current is strong, fast, rushing onward. Near the edge, the water slows, dragging, lingering, circling in eddies. The river is the same, but its flow differs depending on where you stand. So too with time. Far from the black hole, time races ahead like a quick current. Near the edge, it drags, almost halts, flowing reluctantly. You are now standing in that slow-moving bend. This thought is soothing. Time does not have to rush. Time does not have to hurry. Here, in the presence of gravity's pull, every moment stretches, every breath lingers. The universe itself invites you to slow down. Breathe once more, slowly. Notice how a single inhale fills not just your lungs, but what feels like a longer span of awareness. Time is pliant here, like clay, like silk, like water. You are no longer bound to its usual pace. For a moment, imagine two travelers. One remains far from the black hole, floating safely where time moves swiftly. The other, you, drifts close to the edge, where time slows. For the one far away, years may pass, centuries even. Entire civilizations might rise and fall. But for you, here, at the edge, only moments slip by. You live in stretched seconds, while the universe races ahead outside. This is called time dilation. It is not fantasy, but fact. Astronauts aboard satellites experience it faintly. Their clocks tick differently from those on Earth. But near a black hole, the effect deepens into poetry. Time itself becomes relative, personalized, shaped by gravity's embrace. Think of what this means. The universe is not the same for everyone. Time is not a single thread but many threads, each woven differently depending on where you rest. To live near a black hole is to live in a different rhythm than the stars beyond. You are a unique clock, beating to gravity's tune. You drift closer, and the effect intensifies. Light itself, trying to escape, stretches into red, longer and longer wavelengths. Signals sent outward fade, stretched thinner until they vanish. To an outside observer, your image becomes frozen, your voice slowed to silence. But for you, the journey continues, unbroken. This paradox does not trouble you. It soothes you. Both truths exist. Both are real. Pause again, breathing slowly. You are learning that reality is not rigid. It bends, it flexes. It flows with the curves of gravity. What you thought of as certain time itself is malleable. And in this discovery lies a deep calm. If time can stretch, then hurry is only perception. If time can slow, then rushing is never absolute. You may drift. You may linger. You may rest. Now imagine the stars around you. Their light takes ages to reach this place. From your slowed perspective, they appear to move quickly, racing in their cycles, burning through their lives. A star born now might die before you take another breath. Galaxies may collide and merge while you remain still. The universe ages around you while you linger in stretched time. You are not left behind. You are simply in a different rhythm, a slower song. It is like listening to music at half speed. The notes elongate, the spaces between them widen, and hidden beauty emerges in the pauses. Time dilation is the universe's way of slowing the symphony, letting you hear details otherwise lost. And so you rest in this slow song. You think of your own life, far from black holes, lived on Earth where time feels steady. Even there, time can seem to stretch or contracted by physics, but by perception. Moments of joy slip quickly, while moments of waiting drag endlessly. Time is elastic, even in the mind. Here, near the black hole, the universe reveals that perception is not illusion, but reflection of reality itself. Time truly is elastic. Breathe once more. Notice how even your breath feels slower, drawn out, lingering. The universe joins you in this rhythm. Every inhale is a stretched moment. Every exhale is a softened release. You are in harmony with gravity's lullaby, and yet, deeper still, you know the slowing will continue. As you approach the horizon, to the outside world, your time will nearly stop. To them, you will become a ghost, frozen at the edge forever. But to you, there will be no pause, no stopping, only the steady continuation of your journey. This duality comforts you. It means that reality is vast enough to hold more than one truth. The outside observer sees one version, you live another. Both are valid. Both exist. The universe is not a single narrative, but many, layered and coexisting, like harmonies in music. Rest here at the edge. Time is stretching. The seconds are softening. The clock is no longer a taskmaster, but a companion, slowing with you, soothing you. You are drifting in a pool of elongated moments, each one wide enough to rest within. You do not need to count them. You do not need to hold them. You only need to float, breathing gently as time itself slows at the edge. You are drifting in the quiet dark, a stillness that feels infinite. The black hole lies behind you, its silence heavy, but the universe itself is never truly still. Space is not an empty stage. It is a fabric, soft and vast, woven from the threads of time and geometry, and like all fabrics, it can ripple. You rest your awareness on this fabric now, waiting. At first, there is only stillness. Then, slowly, a vibration. Not sound, not light, but something deeper. A tremor moves across the universe, faint yet immense, like a drumbeat felt more than heard. These tremors are called gravitational waves. They are the whispers of colossal events, the crash of black holes, the dance of neutron stars, the spin of giants locked in orbit until they collide. Each wave is an echo of violence, yet it arrives here, softened by time and distance, no longer destructive but delicate, like ripples on a faraway pond. Close your eyes and imagine dropping a stone into still water. Rings spread outward, expanding, carrying the story of that moment to every edge of the pond. Gravitational waves are just that, strings of energy traveling outward from cosmic collisions, rippling across the fabric of space and time itself. Here, floating in stillness, you are not in danger. You are simply listening. The waves pass through you, through planets, through stars, through galaxies. They do not break what they touch. They stretch and release, a rise and fall as gentle as breathing. Yet their origin is immense. Think of two black holes spiraling closer, drawn together in a dance of destruction. They circle faster and faster, until finally they merge into one. The energy released is unimaginable, more powerful than all the stars in the universe shining together. And yet, most of that energy does not shine at all. It ripples. It moves outward as gravitational waves, carrying the memory of the collision across billions of light years. You are listening to those memories now. They reach you not as thunder, but as murmurs, tiny shifts in space itself, stretching and compressing all that they touch. Your body elongates and shortens, invisibly, impossibly, in rhythm with the waves. Your very atoms sway like grass in a breeze. The waves are faint, but they are there. They pass not only through you, but through Earth, through every planet and every star. The whole cosmos is their audience, each particle swaying to their invisible rhythm. Scientists on Earth have learned to listen to. They have built observatories with arms kilometers long, shining lasers that can notice when a passing wave stretches space by less than the width of an atom. When the wave arrives, it leaves a fingerprint, a subtle, shifting pattern, the mark of a faraway dance of giants. In 2015, Earth heard them for the first time. The faint chirp of two black holes colliding more than 1 billion years ago. That tiny sound was a triumph, proof that the universe speaks in ripples. Now you, too, are listening, not with machines, but with presence, with awareness, with stillness. You notice how each wave carries a rhythm, like a heartbeat. Some are deep and slow, born of massive black holes circling far apart. Others are faster, a high-pitched chirp as stars spiral into one another. Together they create a hidden symphony, a music that does not travel by air or ear, but by the trembling of the cosmos itself. Pause for a moment. Imagine that every vibration you feel now began long before humans existed. Some began when Earth was still cooling, when the first oceans formed. Others began before Earth itself existed, in the earliest days of galaxies. You are not simply hearing distant events. You are hearing history itself, carried on waves of gravity. The sound is strange, because it is not sound. It is more like the memory of sound, translated into feeling. If you could play it aloud, it would be a soft whoop, a rising note, fading quickly. But here, as you float in stillness, it feels like a hum, resonating deep in your bones. You realize now, the universe is not silent. It has always been singing, not in light, not in words, but in the trembling of its very structure. Breathe slowly. With each inhale, imagine you are taking in a wave, letting its rhythm expand within you. With each exhale, you release it, softened, carried forward into the dark. You become part of the song. You are not just listening, you are resonating. And so the question arises, what else do these waves carry? Are they only echoes of destruction, or are they also carriers of connection? When a star dies, when a black hole swallows another, the universe does not forget. It ripples, it remembers. Every wave is a record of something that happened long ago and far away, yet made present in the trembling here and now. This means nothing is ever truly lost. The waves continue outward forever, weaker with distance, but never gone. Somewhere, perhaps in another galaxy, someone else may feel the same tremor you feel now. Across unimaginable gulfs, you are connected by ripples. The thought is comforting. You are not separate from the universe. You are woven into it. You share its trembling. Pause and listen again. Imagine the chorus. Black holes colliding. Neutron stars merging. Supernova exploding. All of them sending their stories outward. A cosmic orchestra playing in silence. You are in the audience of creation itself. Your mind drifts, soothed by this rhythm. You think of your own life, your own breath, your own heartbeat. Each pulse you feel in your chest is also a wave, tiny but real, sending ripples through the space around you. The scale is smaller, but the truth is the same. You, too, are part of the universal song. In this moment, time and space feel softer. You are floating not just in darkness, but in music, in vibrations, in the gentle proof that the universe is alive with motion. The ripples continue. They stretch you and release you, subtle, invisible, yet constant. You are reminded that the universe is never still, that every silence hides a hidden motion. Even here, in the calm of night, in the vastness of black space, the fabric of reality itself is gently trembling. Rest in this awareness. Let it soothe you. Let it remind you that even in silence, even in stillness, there is always connection, always movement, always music too deep to hear with ears. You drift on, carried by the rhythm of echoes in gravitational waves. You have followed the waves, listened to the trembling of the universe, and now you drift closer to the heart of the black hole itself. Behind the veil of horizons, beyond the slowing of time, there is something the cosmos cannot easily explain. The singularity, it is a word whispered more than described, a placeholder for what is unknown. Scientists can tell you where it is, at the very center, hidden from every eye, every instrument, but they cannot tell you what it is. The equations fail there, the rules dissolve. It is the end of knowledge as we know it, and yet you are not afraid. Mystery does not frighten you, it softens you. You let it surround you like a blanket. Close your eyes and picture a point so small, so dense that it has no size at all. A place where matter is compressed beyond measure, where gravity is infinite. That is what the singularity is said to be, an object with no dimensions, yet immense in mass. All that fell into the black hole is gathered there, folded into something that cannot be drawn, cannot be seen. But is this the truth, or simply the limit of what we can imagine? Your breath is slow, your thoughts gentle. You do not push for answers. You simply float in the possibility. Perhaps the singularity is not truly a point, but something stranger, something that will only reveal itself with new physics, new insight. Perhaps it is not the end of understanding, but the beginning. Think of it this way. When you look at the horizon, the sun seems to set, but you know it is not truly falling. It is the curve of Earth hiding it from view. The singularity may be similar, not an end, but a curve in reality that hides what is deeper still. The closer you drift in imagination, the more you feel reality bending. Distances collapse, directions blur. Time no longer flows as you know it. A second and a century could be the same here. Past and future fold into one. The very concepts of before and after begin to unravel. This thought might seem frightening, but here in your quiet journey, it feels like release. How heavy it is to always live in time, always moving forward, never able to pause. And yet here, near the singularity, time dissolves. There is no hurry, there is no waiting. There is only now and endless, timeless now. You breathe into this endlessness, allowing it to calm you further. Imagine, for a moment, a traveler who falls into the black hole. To those watching from afar, they seem frozen at the horizon, never quite crossing. But to the traveler, the journey continues. They pass inward, deeper, closer to the singularity. What do they find? No one knows. Perhaps they are torn apart, scattered into particles. Or perhaps something stranger happens. Perhaps they continue into another universe, through a doorway hidden in the collapse. You rest in this not. The singularity is mystery embodied, and mystery is gentle if you let it be. You do not have to solve it tonight. You only have to drift with it. Let it lull you. Let it remind you that some things are not meant to be resolved, but simply witnessed. The singularity is not only physics. It is also metaphor in your own life. There are singularities moments when you cannot see beyond, moments when everything seems to collapse into uncertainty. Those times feel like endings, like points of no return. But perhaps, like the singularity, they are also beginnings. Perhaps they hold doorways to something not yet imagined. You think of a seed, tiny and dark, hidden in soil. To the seed, life seems to collapse inward. The outside world disappears. But in that hidden place, something new begins to unfold. Roots and shoots emerge, breaking through what once felt final. The singularity, too, may be a seed of unknown growth. The scientists of today cannot say. The laws of physics as we know them, Einstein's relativity, quantum mechanics cannot agree on what happens here. One describes smooth curves, the other describes grainy uncertainty, and at the singularity their languages clash. It is a place where our maps run out, and so it becomes a place of humility. The universe whispering, "You do not yet know." This humility is comforting. You do not need every answer to rest. You do not need to understand everything to feel wonder. The singularity invites you into awe, into surrender, into the quiet acceptance that mystery is part of life, part of existence, part of the cosmos itself. Breathe slowly and imagine yourself floating closer, not to be crushed, not to be destroyed, but to be embraced by mystery. The closer you drift, the more you sense reality dissolving around you. Space folds. Time collapses. The very fabric of existence tightens, until all that remains is stillness. In this stillness, there is no up, no down, no before, no after. There is only presence, only awareness, only the deep. Unfathomable now. You find it soothing. Perhaps this is what the singularity truly is, not destruction, not terror, but the ultimate slowing, the ultimate pause. A place where the rush of the universe ends in rest, and so you rest with it. You imagine yourself dissolving into it not as loss, but as union. The matter of your body, the energy of your thoughts, the rhythm of your breath folded gently into the singularity where everything becomes one. Here, individuality melts away, but not in fear. It is simply the return to unity, to wholeness, to the fabric that was always beneath you. You do not resist. You do not struggle. You simply let yourself merge with the veiled mystery, trusting that in this unknown lies something vast, something timeless, something that does not need to be named. The singularity remains unseen. It remains veiled, but you do not need to lift the veil tonight. It is enough to rest in its presence, enough to let the not knowing cradle you. For even the deepest mysteries can be gentle. When you float with them, you breathe once more, slowly. The veil remains, and you drift near it, not asking, not forcing, only listening. The silence is deep. The stillness is endless. The mystery is whole, and you let yourself drift, softly, into the heart of what cannot be known. You are drifting again, gently carried away from the hidden core, where the singularity veils its secrets. Around you, the universe shifts, and you notice something strange. For all its immense power, A black hole does not shine. It swallows light itself, and so it cannot be seen directly. To look for it is to look for absence, for shadow, for the quiet outline of something that refuses to reveal itself. Close your eyes and imagine a lantern burning in the night. You see its glow not because of the lantern itself, but because of the light it gives off. Now imagine the lantern extinguished, yet surrounded by fog. The fog glows in faint colors, but at the center is a hole, a void where no light escapes. That hole, that shape of missing brightness, is how a black hole appears. The shadow it casts is not an ordinary shadow, not the kind made by blocking light. It is deeper, stranger. It is the absence of light itself, pulled inward, trapped forever. The first time humanity captured an image of this shadow was in 2019, when the Event Horizon Telescope focused on a distant galaxy called M87. The image revealed a glowing ring of matter, bright and swirling, circling a darkness at its center. It was not the black hole itself, but the shadow it left upon light. For the first time, the invisible became visible. You drift closer to such a ring now, watching. Matter swirls around the black hole in a luminous disk, glowing brighter the closer it spins. The friction of atoms, torn and stretched by gravity, creates heat beyond imagination. They shine in light we cannot see, in X-rays and gamma rays, in energy pouring outward even as their substance is drawn inward. And at the heart of it all, there is a hole, a darkness that no brightness can penetrate. It is a strange kind of beauty, the brightest glow revealing the deepest dark. You would not know the black hole existed were it not for the light around it, bent, twisted, and devoured. The black hole defines itself not by presence, but by absence. You breathe slowly, reflecting. There is something familiar in this. In your own life too, there are things you cannot see directly. Feelings, memories, mysteries inside you. They do not reveal themselves in plain sight, but through the way they shape what is visible, the words you speak, the choices you make, the silences you keep. Like the black hole, they leave a shadow, and the shadow tells their story. The ring brightens, flaring as new matter falls inward. The light swells faster, pulled by gravity, until it blurs. If you could watch for ages, you would see it change constantly, always shifting, always revealing and concealing. And yet the shadow remains, steady, unyielding, always at the center. You realize, to know a black hole is to study contrast, light against dark, motion against stillness, presence against absence. This contrast is soothing in its simplicity. The universe does not hide everything. It leaves clues. It leaves patterns. You only need to watch carefully. Imagine for a moment that you are the light itself, circling the black hole. You fly near, drawn into orbit. The gravity bends your path, curves your motion until you spiral in tight loops. Some of your light escapes, racing outward to the universe, carrying with it the memory of where you traveled. Some of it falls inward, never to return. Together, these paths create the glowing ring that reveals the shadow. The black hole itself remains hidden, but its influence is undeniable. It shapes what you see, not by showing itself, but by bending everything else around it. This is how much of science is done, by watching the effects, not the thing itself. By studying the shadows and the ripples, the echoes and the outlines. What is unseen becomes known through what it changes. You let this thought settle. It comforts you. You do not need to see everything directly to understand. Sometimes the shadow tells the story. Sometimes the outline is enough. The glowing disk continues its swirl. It is chaotic yet beautiful, turbulent yet patterned. Within it are storms of matter, jets of energy shooting outward at near the speed of light. Black holes, though silent in themselves, are engines of brilliance. The very act of swallowing creates radiance. The shadow births the glow. You drift outward now, far enough to see the whole picture. A circle of light, fiery and alive. A center of darkness, calm and impenetrable. The contrast holds you in stillness. It is like looking at an eye, vast and unblinking, staring back at you with its mystery. You breathe slowly, as if to match the rhythm of this cosmic gaze, and you realize the shadow is not frightening. It is grounding. It reminds you that not everything must be illuminated, not everything must be revealed. There is beauty in what remains hidden. There is peace in what cannot be fully known. Just as the black hole reveals itself only through shadow, so too can your quietness, your pauses, your silences speak louder than your words. You let this awareness soften you. You do not have to shine constantly. You do not have to explain everything. Your shadow, too, has meaning. The universe shows you its lesson gently, through light bent into rings, through darkness that refuses to be erased, and so you rest, floating in the contrast, breathing with the balance of shadow and glow. You drift outward now, leaving behind the close shadow, the swirling disk of light and absence. Beyond the event horizon, beyond the glowing ring, you find yourself gazing at something larger, something vast. A galaxy from afar. It resembles a great whirlpool, spiraling arms stretching wide, filled with billions of stars. Clouds of gas shimmer, dust lanes curl like brushstrokes, and nebulae glow faintly in hues of pink and blue. The galaxy rotates slowly, as if swaying in an eternal rhythm, and at its heart, hidden deep within the glow, lies a black hole. This is not a small one, not the remnant of a single star, but a giant, a supermassive black hole, millions or even billions of times more massive than the sun, silent, unseen, but shaping the motion of all around it. It is astonishing to realize, nearly every galaxy has such a giant at its center. These black holes are not the exception, but the rule, anchoring the dance of stars on scales too immense to fully imagine. Without them, galaxies might not spin as they do. Without them, the cosmic dance would lack its rhythm. You breathe slowly, watching the stars move. Each one is like a dancer, tracing its path across the galaxy's great floor. Some circle near the center, moving swiftly under the grip of the black hole's gravity. Others drift farther out, slower, yet still tied to the invisible hand at the heart. Together, they form a choreography so vast that it takes millions of years for a single rotation to complete, and yet, you can see the pattern, even if you cannot wait to see its full turn. The spiral arms stretch like the flowing robes of dancers, curving outward, always held together by the pull of the core. Imagine yourself standing in a great hall, watching a waltz unfold. Partners move in circles, their steps precise, their timing exact, their motions held together by the rhythm of the music. The galaxy is that hall. Its stars are the dancers. The black hole is the unseen conductor, keeping time with its silent presence. It is not only stars that circle. Clouds of dust and gas also whirl, sometimes falling inward, feeding the hunger of the black hole. As they do, they glow brilliantly, creating quasars beacons that shine across the universe, outshining entire galaxies. From far away, a quasar looks like a star, but in truth, it is a galaxy's heart set ablaze by the feast of its black hole. Pause now and imagine the scale. The black hole at the center of our own galaxy, the Milky Way, is called Sagittarius A*. It is about 4 million times the mass of the Sun, and yet, from Earth, it appears quiet, hidden behind clouds of dust. Only with careful observation can we trace the orbits of nearby stars, whipping around at incredible speeds, their paths betraying the presence of something immense and invisible. The dance of those stars is a clue, a message written in motion. It tells us what lies at the heart. Even when the black hole is dark, its influence shines through the rhythm of what surrounds it. You breathe again, letting this realization soothe you. The unseen can still be known. The hidden can still be trusted. The galaxy's dance is slow, patient, eternal. It is measured not in years or centuries, but in eons. Yet even at this vast scale, the black hole remains central. Its pull organizes, stabilizes, defines. Without it, the spiral would unravel. With it, the galaxy holds together, graceful and steady. There is comfort in this. You think of your own life, your own small galaxy of experiences, memories, and dreams. At the center of your being, too, there is something unseen, something like gravity, holding your story together. You may not always name it, but it shapes you. Perhaps it is love. Perhaps it is memory. Perhaps it is simply your breath, the rhythm that keeps you alive. Whatever it is your center, your anchor, your quiet black hole. Look again at the galaxy. See how everything belongs. The smallest stars, the brightest giants, the faintest clouds of dust, they all circle the center together. None are excluded. None are too small. The dance includes all. This thought brings ease. You, too, belong in the dance of your own life, no matter how small your steps sometimes feel. You are part of a larger rhythm, guided by an unseen center that holds you steady. The galaxy continues its turning, slowly, so slowly, but never still. From a distance, it looks serene, almost frozen. But up close, every star is in motion, every orbit is alive. The stillness is only an illusion. The truth is motion. The truth is dance. Imagine drifting through the spiral arms. You pass stars of every age newborn suns, surrounded by disks of planets just forming, and ancient red giants glowing faintly as they near the end of their lives. All of them are part of the same grand rhythm, all of them bound to the center by invisible lines of gravity. You pass nebulae glowing with starbirth, their clouds illuminated like lanterns. You pass clusters of stars, packed close together, shimmering like jewels. And all the while, you feel the tug of the center, the steady gravity that holds this whole symphony in balance. And then you look back, once more, at the black hole itself. You cannot see it, but you know it is there. The evidence is everywhere, in the swirls, in the paths, in the light and the motion. The black hole does not need to announce itself. Its influence is enough. So too in your own life. Some truths do not need to be declared loudly. They are felt in the way they shape what surrounds them. Love, trust, belonging like black holes. They may not be seen directly, but their presence is undeniable in the way they hold everything together. You breathe slowly, deeply, letting the galaxy's rhythm soothe you. The stars are dancing. The galaxies are turning. The universe is moving in patterns far beyond your lifetime. And at the center, there is always a gravity, a presence, a quiet that holds the dance together. You let this thought cradle you. You do not need to rush. You do not need to know every detail. It is enough to belong to the dance, to be part of the motion, to trust the center even if it cannot be seen. And so you drift softly in the great hall of galaxies, listening to the music of their turning, feeling the rhythm of their motion, resting in the certainty that the dance goes on.